What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 43 of the Nightly Nonsense Podcast. I'm your host, Adam. I'm here with Dave and Chris. Boys, how we doing? We took a week off. I hope you guys all enjoyed the little troll job.
Yes.
You got him.
Got him.
How we doing? It's been too long, boys. I don't like when we take a week off.
I
He's
know.
back.
It is. It's good to be back. Fresh off the golf course, straight in the back door. Fed the dog, let the dog out, came straight to the laptop.
There you
Straight
go.
in the back door.
Straight in the back door.
Bold move.
The only
Straight in
way the only way my guy likes it.
Exactly.
Bite the pillow.
Right in the
There's gonna be a lot of sports talk tonight, so I'm gonna start it non-sports and then we'll finish non-sports. But have you guys been seeing the reports about cocaine sharks off the coast of Brazil?
I've seen Cocaine Bear, the movie.
So
You tell me we got real live versions?
You watched that movie? Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
So
I did hear about
Cocaine
this.
Bear was also based on, like, loosely based on a true story that I think that happened, but there's been like traces of cocaine found in sharks off the coast of Brazil, which
Yeah.
leads me to ask, what do you think would be the worst animal to come across if it was on cocaine?
Well, I think the bear was kind of a rough, like, first animal to start this whole example on. Like, the bear on cocaine would be a scary sight to run into, if you
So-
ask me.
Where I'm going to go with this, I feel like my answer will be shocking. And I'm thinking of just an animal that you would come across like more frequently.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Could you imagine if just all of the squirrels were just tweaking on cocaine?
See,
That's
I
not
was
what I thought
actually
you were gonna
thinking along similar vein, like something that's already like tweaky,
Yep.
and that makes it like extremely tweaked. Like I almost want to say like a honey badger or something, like something just like.
But like,
Honey
Whereas a
badger.
bear, I feel like a bear is just like it starts getting like, you know what
These
I mean? Like
faces-
it's just
those
big,
faces.
like the face droops a little bit.
because I'm just
It's
like,
that nasal drip.
obviously, if I came across a bear in general, I'm terrified. So like, I don't know how much, like the
What
cocaine.
about a chihuahua?
Honestly, even some like very aggressive dogs, like that would be more terrifying. Well, not more terrifying, but like, I wouldn't come across a cocaine bear, you know?
Yeah, you wouldn't find that.
And
Think
like,
about all the nasal receptors the dog has for that cocaine to get in there, though.
I know. Like
And
a
like-
dogs on cocaine would be.
like my chances of surviving a bear attack and then a bear on cocaine aren't much different. Which like the same with a shark, you know?
But I feel like if dogs got on cocaine, if all the dogs got on cocaine, we would be screwed.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it has to be an animal you would come across more frequently that was already kind of aggressive, and then you're giving it cocaine.
Yeah. It would be a bad sight to see if all the dogs got coked out.
I
They
think
team up
gorillas would
against
be
us,
pretty
I think.
crazy, too.
So what was the backstory? How did these sharks get the cocaine in their system? Do they know that yet?
I'm sure it was
Usually-
either like a boat that was coming across that had drugs and some fell in the water, or like an airplane. I'm sure it was some sort of a package fell off some sort of vessel that was carrying cocaine.
Yeah.
Sometimes the octopus will give them a little bit just to get them hooked.
Yeah,
It's the
they're-
octopus. The
actually-
octopi.
This was our first discovery of the underwater cocaine. So we just got to find out the animal that's dealing, infiltrate the dealer, find the
Find
supplier.
the supplier.
Find the supply.
Yep.
It-
Infiltrate that.
it
dealer.
happens
Save our
everywhere.
sharks.
It's just
I-
ignorant of us to think that all of the cocaine is on land, you know?
There's,
I mean, they
there's-
got to be careful because it could be fentanyl, too.
Yeah.
They don't know.
I
They're
hear
not
there's a
testing
new
it.
there's
It's a
new
dangerous
drug,
game.
New drug running around the sea anemone. Anemone.
Yep.
The sea anemone.
Yeah.
It's called Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Yep.
I hear it's free all over campus.
Work hard, play hard.
Free Wi-Fi all over campus. It'll be easy to track down.
Exactly.
What was the one before that?
21 Jump Street?
Yeah, Giggle Pig? Is that what it's called?
No, that's not it.
Let's see.
Don't look it up. Try and guess it first.
I'll look it
What
up
was it?
and then
All
you
right.
guys.
Wait,
can
so
on,
when it was
try and guess it.
Wi-Fi, it was work hard, yeah, play hard, yeah.
That was the second one for
Yep.
sure.
22 Jump Street. And then the first one, so they're in high school.
Little baggies with like,
Yeah.
what was he called?
Oh, Dave Franco.
Giggle Pig sounds right.
I don't think it's
So
Okay.
one of the side effects is the giggles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
And remember when they run into Rob Riggle outside?
Extreme Confidence,
Yeah.
followed by Show Tunes or something like that.
Giggle Pig is a drug in
I'm just
Brooklyn
a
Nine-Nine.
Ah, that's what it is. Dang. All right. All right, what is it, Adam?
Because HFS, which stands for holy fucking shit.
I wouldn't remember that.
I wouldn't have gotten that. I don't
Because
remember that.
when you said Giggle Pig, Chris, I was like, what is that from?
Great
I'm
show,
just a
great show.
crow. What is that?
That's from the first. That's from the first one.
Yeah. And he's
From
Yeah,
the
it's the part
tip
in the
of my
show,
toe.
it's from the tip of my toe.
That's my
And then doesn't he
Peter.
like crash into like a giant cymbal? Like he like
Yep.
dives head first into it or something?
Yes. And then in the
Those
second one,
Those movies are so good.
the second one when he does the slam poetry,
Oh,
Cynthia
Oh, that's iconic.
died for our Cynthia.
Jesus cried. One runaway bride. All right.
Oh, that
Boys,
got
how
off-
much of the Olympics have you watched thus far? Because I sadly haven't been able to watch too much of it.
I haven't watched any of it really.
I haven't watched any of it
And
either.
I'll tell you what, I wasn't a huge fan of the opening ceremony.
I agree that it was a little offensive. But here's the deal. So before we get into that, I'll tell you why I haven't watched any. I hate when they're in Europe. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The time difference sucks because
Yeah.
I am not somebody who is going to watch a sporting event that I already know the outcome of, and I'm working during the day.
I was talking about this with a coworker because he was like, I was streaming the U.S. women's national team soccer game from home when I was working. And he was like, I haven't watched it yet. I'm about to take a break and watch the game. I was like, ooh, I'm not a person that can, like, I follow too many things in my sports. My Twitter and Instagram are too sports heavy that like any game that I would want to try and not find out the outcome for would be so hard.
Can't
Yeah.
avoid it.
No, I mean, I get the alerts. So it's like, I get an alert from ESPN and from The Athletic, and it's like Katie Ledecky wins the 1500 freestyle. And it's like, oh, well, not going to watch that tonight in NBC prime time.
Yeah.
Like, it's already happened.
Yeah.
I've watched some, like I said, when I'm working from home, I'll have it like playing in the background. Some things I've watched both women's soccer games. That's really about it. Otherwise, it's just been little snippets here or there.
Yeah. Because like if it's in Asia, then it's the time difference is so much different that it's almost
still works.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
work because it's the next day almost at the same time. So it's like it works out perfectly. And then when it's in North America, obviously it works. And if it's in South America, then it's straight up and down. So it works. And, it's all about me. So, or it's all about America. So, it should be when we can watch it, not when everybody else can watch it.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Well,
I agree.
per usual, U.S. is dominating in total medals. We're second in gold medals right now, but a lot of events that have yet to finish that we're going to obviously get a lot of golds. First in silvers, first in bronzes. We'll take it all like we always do.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I haven't watched much, but I did watch a recap of the South Sudan versus USA basketball game. Some guy just giving commentary on TikTok. First of all, it was hilarious. Second of all, it looked like it was a great game.
Which one was it? Because
I
they
guess
played
the first
twice.
one. The first one, where like the U.S.
We
was
barely
coming in
won.
thinking like South
Yeah.
Sudan's gonna be so easy, and then from the gate they just started balling, hitting threes, and like never really gave up a lead, and it came down to like a couple points at the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
We dummied them in the second
Yeah,
matchup
they came
though.
prepared.
And then
Yeah.
did you see, I saw on Twitter that they played the national anthem for Sudan and not South Sudan before the game against US?
That's a bad. That's bad for that.
The
too.
Olympics did come out and apologize. If it makes them feel better, you think?
I doubt it does. I doubt it makes them feel better. But because didn't South, one of the two had to fight for their independence from the other. So
Something tells
that's-
me it's probably South if the other one still has, just like the main Sudan.
yeah. So that's probably, and it's
Yeah, I'm sure there's not a
pretty
good
fresh, I
relationship
believe.
between those two. Yeah.
oh,
Damn,
things
they got
considered.
pyramids in Sudan.
Oh, we
You guys know
know
that?
you love some
You
pyramids.
serious?
Yeah. Look at this.
Yeah.
They got a lot of them. This
How
kind of looks
many?
like a fake picture. Doesn't that look like AI?
Let me see. Yeah, that ain't
You see
real.
this?
That don't look real.
That don't look real at all.
it's pretty
but
cool
there's a bunch
looking,
of
though.
pyramids. Look at those pyramids.
I mean, it could be
that's
real.
real.
Click
I
on
mean,
it.
I feel like the first image on
That's
Google,
real.
I feel
That's
like
real.
you'd have to get deep into Google before you're getting some AI generated images, not what's showing up on like their first couple pictures.
There's
real.
literally a tool now where you get an AI response for
Yeah,
Google
it's
searches.
incredible.
It is, and that's not very deep in
That's
there.
the
That's
first
literally
result.
I
the
know,
first.
but that's text that is finding
I'm kidding.
like
I was
searching the
kidding.
web and doing it,
I was kidding. I was kidding.
Well, I still had to prove you wrong.
I was kidding.
One more note on this. How crazy is it, like, fighting for your independence, but then just being like, yeah, we're just South Sudan now. Like, come up with a new name. Like, what?
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
worked so hard for this. Get a little creative.
Yeah, make up something
At least
different.
ask ChatGPT.
Don Sue or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Think of something creative.
I feel like these next two topics of conversation could have some spirited debate here. So we're gonna go with what I think might be the lighter one first. But in
Okay.
your guys' opinion, who is the greatest Olympian of all time?
Shaun White.
Michael Phelps.
So I have in the notes here.
I didn't even look at your notes.
Who is the greatest Olympian of all time? And let me tell you why it isn't Michael Phelps, because I knew one of you guys were going to say it, so I'm glad you did.
I didn't even look at your notes, so wow, I did not even know that it said that. Honestly.
So, which it's obviously all opinion, but do you fall into the camp that like titles, or in the Olympics case, medals, is like the bar that has to be met to become the greatest in what you're doing? Or can sometimes accomplishments...
this is very different depending on so in an individual sport, yes, because it's an individual sport. If it's a team sport, no, not necessarily, because you play on a team, so there's a lot of other factors that go into it.
So obviously what Michael Phelps did is incredible in terms of medal count. He's the most decorated Olympian, but he no longer holds a single individual world record. His only records he now has are his team events. So you could argue that like Simone Biles, for example, she's like doing things that no other gymnast can do. Whereas Michael Phelps, it's a sport where people are passing him. So I don't know. Obviously, because it's the same way with like baseball, like people that try to argue that like Babe Ruth is the best player of all time. Everyone's like, you're an idiot. He never even faced a curveball and people threw 75 miles per hour. So like, I feel like you can almost make that argument to an extent with Michael Phelps, because if he was racing today, he wouldn't even be the best in today's swimming.
Not necessarily, because there's different. So this is going to go hand in hand with what I'm going to argue in a little bit, but there's different things that go into training, and there's different things that go, different resources, different training regimens, different technology that Michael Phelps would have today that he didn't have when he was in his prime.
So how much different do you think that is with swimming? Like,
you guys have heard like, so there's some effect or something where like oftentimes when a world record is broken, it's then that same number is broken like a lot right after that, because like once you believe that it's possible, then more people, or you can prove that it's possible, people believe that it's possible, and they like achieve it. So
Mm-hmm.
Michael Phelps was reaching the peak at his time. If the peak was higher and he was swimming now and it was the same, everything, I think he just has a sight set on a different goal, and I think he still achieves that.
So my question for you is then, why has nobody beat Usain Bolt's fastest 100-meter dash?
Maybe we topped out there.
So how do we know that Michael Phelps would then be able to accomplish more than he did when he was swimming?
Let me back up for a second.
Sure.
This is also really difficult if we think about it for Olympic sports.
So I think exactly what you're going to say. Olympics is so hard because you could say someone like Usain Bolt. I'm pretty sure he ran in 2 Olympics, won gold in 100, 200, 100 relay, 200 relay. But those were the only events he could do. Where swimming, there's like 50-meter free, 50-meter butterfly, 50-meter breaststroke, 50-meter backstroke. Then there's 100. Then there's 150. And then there's the medley where you do every single one.
And then there's team relays. And then
but that's almost part of the argument where I feel like it shouldn't be medals driven because he has the ability to win so many more.
How can we compare a gymnast to a runner to a swimmer, to a shot putter to a archery person?
I feel like dominance in the sport, which obviously at the time Michael Phelps was the greatest. But like I said, if Usain Bolt, his record has stood since this says the 2009 World Athletic Championships. He ran a 9.58, and then he ran a crazy time, obviously, at the Olympics. If no one's topped that since in the sport of track and field, obviously I hear what you're saying. It is so different to judge across sports. Like I'm not going, because like I was looking up articles to even see like who else some people might say. And like one said like Michael Jordan. It's like, I'm not going to sit here and say Michael Jordan is the greatest Olympian of all time. Like that's not how I view Michael Jordan. But yeah, I just thought it was a good topic for debate. So like I said, that's what I wanted to know if like when I first started this off is medal count what sets you apart. But then it's so hard because it's so hard
per run.
So hard like, per sport.
That's true. Like for me, consistency is a big thing. Like that's how you can say that Tiger Woods is the greatest golfer of all time because he was able to do it for so long.
Yep.
Consistency is key. So like
Michael Phelps swam in 4.
Yeah, dude, he like went
that's
for
crazy.
So long. He went for so long.
So I do think that bumps him up. Now I don't think you can ever discredit gold medals, right? Like the gold medal means you're the best in the world at that time. That's just the rules of the gold medal. Like we have to give it some respect. So if you have more gold medals over more years, you have to be ranked higher. So I definitely think Michael Phelps is ranked higher than Usain Bolt for sure. You can get lucky once or twice. No, I'm not saying he got lucky. I'm just saying, like,
I was
gonna say
I won't even say that.
He literally dominated everyone. But yeah, that's where it's so hard because, like, if there was an 100-meter forwards run and then a 100-meter backwards one, I bet you he could have won both. But there's just so many more events with swimming that it gives him the opportunity to win so many more medals than really any other Olympic sport.
Why couldn't Usain run the 800 and like all the other races?
Because
you know what I mean, like that's what Michael Phelps did.
Yeah, Michael Phelps went distance and sprint in the form of swimming.
What all, like, let's see, 8 gold medals.
He won like all, because there's different 400s, so he won like multiple 400s. So he won the combination one.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying though. Like there isn't an event like that for running. I'm trying to see what the 8 events he won.
He could have run the 400 and 400.
I know,
hurdles.
but like, I guess
like Usain Bolt could have run in other events. He did not, and it may have been because he didn't have the ability to win those.
Well, yeah. Because he's not a long distance runner. Those are, I'm not going to say like, you don't see that in track and field, but you do see it in swimming.
But there are swimmers who.
There's no way Usain Bolt couldn't win an 800.
Oh, I don't think he could because his stamina isn't built for that.
Oh, you don't think so? I think he easily could.
No, I don't
Nah,
think so.
I don't
Otherwise,
think
I
he
think
would
he would have
either.
done it.
Yeah, I don't think he could have either.
What about 400?
That
That's
one
where
maybe.
that's where I'm thinking. That's
Okay,
where I
so
think he should have.
Michael Phelps won the 200 meter, the 100 meter, so 200 meter freestyle, 100 and 200 meter butterfly, and 200 and 400 meter combined. I don't know what that means.
That's where you do one down and the other back.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's also makes it just even more impressive. Like
So,
he was
but
good
this-
at all of the different strokes.
But this is what I'm saying. So Usain Bolt in one Olympics won 4 gold medals because he did the 100, the 200, the 100 meter, and the 200 relay. Which
He should have done the 400. If he was that good of an athlete, he should have done the 400.
Okay, so Michael Phelps did 1 400, and then like I just said, Usain Bolt didn't have the hop, skip, and jump 100 meter dash, whereas there's different strokes in
Who
swimming.
has more gold medals?
Oh, Michael Phelps by a ton.
Who had
Michael
a longer
Phelps.
tenure and a run?
I think Michael Phelps by
Michael
one
Phelps.
Olympics.
So the only thing Usain Bolt has is a world record that still stands,
World
an
re-
Olympic record.
Yeah,
And you think that makes him a better Olympian?
I'm not saying that I think Usain Bolt is. I'm just making arguments that there are other people in the conversation more so than just Michael Phelps because everyone goes to the medal count.
Oh, I agree that there's other people in the conversation. I don't think Usain Bolt's the proper. I think Simone Biles would be the.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what's his
I think-
name? Jesse Owens. Didn't he have like a ton of?
I think he just ran.
Who was the
He might
guy-
have like just ran the 400.
Who was the runner who like passed out and his dad went out and like carried him to the finish line? You guys ever seen that video?
I have seen that video. Yes.
Whoever's dad that was, that guy's the greatest Olympian of all time.
That
I like-
guy.
I'll take
I
that
like
answer.
That guy. I like that guy. No, I think if it's like my personal opinion, and obviously it's just all opinion, but if it's not Michael Phelps, I think there's a compelling argument for Simone Biles.
Oh, I agree because she's literally doing things in the sport of gymnastics that other gymnasts can't do, which is one of my really big arguments. Again, against Michael Phelps, just because people have passed him and what he could do in the sport of swimming. Whereas like there aren't gymnasts that even try what Simone Biles is doing, which a lot of the time is why she wins. Because I figured out the scoring in gymnastics is execution and then difficulty of routine. And she's getting so many more points on difficulty of routine because the things she tries, other people don't even dare to try, which is crazy.
But she's still in her career. So like Michael Phelps is post-career. So we've been able to see his records be broken.
Yeah.
So Simone Biles in 12 years, 10 years, it's been 8 years since the last time Michael Phelps was in the Olympics. So in 8 years, someone could do what Simone Biles is doing right now. And then we're at the same point in the
For
argument.
sure.
The question,
Which is
I
why
think
it's
is
still crazy to
interesting.
me that no one's beat Usain Bolt's record.
How
Only
long-
sprinter in Olympic history to win the 100 and 200 and 3 consecutive Olympics. How about that?
Damn. How long do you think we have left until it's impossible for records to be broken anymore?
That's a great question because
20
like there's
years? 40
there's-
years?
there's only so much that like
Yeah.
the human body
Yeah,
can
you
really
can't
do.
run a 2-minute mile. It's impossible. So,
Like I said,
how
there's,
low can
like-
it get?
Like you
How low
said
can you
earlier,
go?
like if this with the technology and the training that people have and the coaching that people have and no one has broken Usain's record, like to the point you said, is that just literally an unbreakable record?
Yeah, like you're right. At some point, it's got to bottom out.
It's a good
So-
question.
I don't know.
Like there are just some crazy athletes now. I don't know how people can get more athletic than they currently are unless the world just says, screw it, everyone can use performance enhancing drugs.
That or evolution just keeps doing its thing.
I guess, man.
Yeah.
How long do you
That's-
think we have until there's discussions on whether like bionic people can be entered into Olympic Games?
That'll be their own category.
Yeah, they'll have
Big-
their own.
The
Yeah.
bionic games?
Oh,
The Paralympic Games
gosh.
will then, the records will pass because the Paralympians will be part bionic.
That could be heard as a controversial statement, so I'm not going to
Yeah,
associate.
I don't know
I'm not
if
going to
I
be.
touch that one.
I mean,
I
look
guess
where.
we're talking Paralympics
where-
is different than the Special Olympics.
Yes,
So,
that is correct. But like,
I thought the same thing, Dave, but that's
No.
different.
like look where like prosthetics are now. You know, like if you add more mechanical to that. No, I wasn't talking the friggin' Special Olympics.
Chris.
I just can't get the image of
Dude,
that
the
out of my
ringer.
head right now. The ringer, but you give them bionic arms and legs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you about
Do you
the
guys need to
sprinters.
recover?
The
You need to
sprinters
recoup?
When the
that
fuck
have
do
the
we get ice
frost,
cream?
that have the like, what do they call those?
Prosthetics,
No, for runners though, they
where
have
they
this-
have like the flat foot.
those things are really cool looking,
These
honestly.
are called blades.
I think that is what they're called. And then there was that guy in
Blade
South
runner.
Africa. That's not what they're called. Never mind. There was a guy in South Africa that killed his wife that had one of those.
But he competed in the actual Olympics.
I don't know. What
Did
was
he
that guy's
use
name?
it to kill his wife?
I don't know. There's rumors.
Kind of like that chick on what's that movie?
What was that guy's name? Oscar
Not the
Pistorius?
gentleman.
Oscar Pistorius.
Yeah. Look at that.
What's the movie about the secret English secret service kind of? But it's got the kid in it, and he goes to the suit store. Kind of ridiculous. Come on. Not the gentleman. It's
I like the gentleman.
Oh, Kingsman. The Kingsman.
Yep.
Oh,
The
yeah.
second Kingsman movie, some chick has swords for legs, and she slices people up with them.
Yep.
So
Yep.
this is also, we'll change the topic after this, but the women's Olympic runner, Sydney McLaughlin,
Yep.
she's also crazy because she does the 400-meter hurdles, and she has broken her own world record 5 times with her record time at 50.65 seconds for the 400-meter hurdles. And then just the standard 400 record is 47.6 seconds. I feel like only 3 seconds slower and you're jumping over sets of hurdles is crazy.
That is, that's impressive. That's
Isn't
why.
there some woman swimmer that has 12 world records right now?
Katie
might-
Ledecky has
Like
a
she
lot.
set the last 12.
She's-
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
She's
Did you see?
wild.
So she does the 1500 meter is her event, which is basically like swimming a mile, which is crazy.
Yep.
And they showed her finishing, and no one else is
On
even
TV?
in camera shot
Yeah.
Yeah. on TV, live on television. Chris, they showed it.
They showed her live on
That's incredible.
She's good. She's really good.
Okay, maybe that's not as crazy as I thought it was. Because the
What?
men's 400 meter hurdle record is 45.94, and then just the men's 400 meter record is 43 seconds.
Well, I guess if you watch them, they don't even slow down
That's true.
at all.
How
It's-
fast do you think you could run a 400 right now?
Who? Me?
6 minutes.
6 minutes? That's not bad.
I have no idea. I don't even want to go. Slow. Real
Checks
slow.
out.
Wait,
Checks
6
out.
minutes? Is 6 minutes what is an actual 400 time?
1 lap around the track.
Oh,
6 minutes. I was like, I think I could go faster than that, Chris.
I probably do it in 3.
Okay.
And a half.
It was
Oh, you can
2
go
or
faster
3
than
years
that.
ago at this point.
Wait, no, that's a 12-minute mile. So yeah.
Yeah, you can go faster than that.
It was 2 or
Maybe.
3 years ago at this point. I tried to run. I told someone that I thought I could still run a 100-meter dash in under a minute. So we went and tested it, and I ran 1.004, and I threw up.
Wasn't that us?
No, ours was the 100-meter dash.
Oh yeah.
That was us. Remember us?
I remember the good old days.
Katie Ledecky. Sorry, I'm looking her up. She is 6 foot tall.
It's tall.
4-time U.S. Olympic swimmer. And
That's
she is
also crazy because this is her
13.
fourth Olympics and she's, I don't think that old.
She's
27.
27. She's younger than us. She could go one more time.
Easy.
One more time. One more. Michael Phelps, there were rumors he was going to go in 2020, and then he went and, coronavirus.
She
So-
has, but she's only won 8 Olympic golds. So again, it does add to the testament of Michael Phelps of that he
He's
was
got
able
time,
to
though.
do it in so many different categories, so many different events. The stamina to be able to compete in all of those events, incredibly
Look at
impressive.
we-
And I
But,
will argue one last thing. I'll argue against myself for a second, though. Michael Phelps' most electric victory was in that relay, and it was his old teammate in that relay that actually came
What's his
back at
name?
the very. What is that guy's
Come
name?
on, Adam. No.
Which guy-
when I
which
wa-
guy
Ryan
we talking?
Lochte. Ryan Lochte.
No.
Oh.
Ryan Lochte. Dude, Ryan Lochte
that
always
was a
wanted
guy,
to be
though.
Michael. He always wanted to be Michael Phelps, and he wasn't. He never turned out to be.
That's
Uh,
because the world almost said that he was the next Michael Phelps.
know.
And he just didn't live up to
he
the
didn't
hype.
live up to it. Who was the guy? Jason. I would have never gotten this. Jason Lezak.
Momoa?
Michael Phelps, Jason Lezak, and the greatest
Aquaman?
relay in American
Dude.
history.
I remember watching that event and just absolutely
I
losing my
was
marbles.
going insane.
One of my coworkers sent me a reel the other day, which cracked me up because if you think of like the state of the world now and how just normal and recreational weed is, it was like,
Yeah.
who else remembers when those pictures of Michael Phelps smoking a bong came out and there were people like devastated, like how could this man do this? Like the reel she sent me was like, we used to be a proper country. When my uncle found out Michael Phelps smoked weed, he just said, I'm gonna need a minute, and then took a drive.
My life is shattered.
It's like, how will we
And
go
no
on?
no one would care at all.
No.
Honorable mentions for greatest Olympians of all time: Mike Eruzione.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Aruzzi.
He was a one-hit wonder, but he was a goodie.
Yeah,
All
Yep.
depends on your definition of greatest.
I know.
sure.
So this will trickle into our next topic of conversation, but because not all of the
Ice
sports in our next conversation, not all of the sports are included in our next conversation. Do you think there's a single sport that if you dedicated your life to at this moment in the Olympics that you could medal in? Because there are some obscure things in the Olympics. Like, do you think if you just like set your sights on rowing, you could become a
No,
world champion
No,
rower?
dude,
No,
rowing's
but I think
insane.
I could wreck.
See,
some
that's
kid
crazy to me,
in
Dave, knowing
handball.
what you're about to talk about in our next argument, that you don't think someone could go pro in rowing.
No,
I
dude,
think-
rowing's tough.
It's definitely hard, but if you just dedicated your time to only rowing,
I think someone could go pro in rowing. I'm talking about me. You ask me. There's no way I could do rowing. I think maybe you could.
like
Me personally,
like summer or winter Olympics, even like bobsled, how, or like any of those events where you just like kind of you're in a contraption, you're just going down super fast. Like how much, I guess, hand-eye or like reaction
Cross-country
time.
skiing.
curling.
Like that's just walking in snow for a long time.
Yeah, with
That's-
sliding in snow.
That's what I'm
Curling.
saying. Like
well,
I feel like there's more winter sports than summer sports.
That guy that was really good for the U.S. in curling looks like someone's father. He has that big bushy red mustache.
Dude looks like he's a menace behind the grill. Toss
Hey,
some burgers on there
guy-
and some Air Monarchs.
that guy.
That dude's
knows how
making
to-
you. That dude's at a barbecue asking you how you like your burger just to make them all well done.
yeah.
Exactly. I think
All
I
right.
could do curling. I think that's all I got in the tank.
Okay.
Maybe
Handball.
See, handball's another one that I
Uh-huh.
because
I
like
used to wreck handball.
because you like the world's
Handball's
best
not much.
athletes aren't picking handball, so you're
Yes.
you've eliminated such a big pool that I think like I don't even know what time I have to dedicate to it. I guess I think I just need to find the right leagues.
And you really just would have to practice.
Throwing,
Yeah.
I already do, but they like
But I bet those pros are like,
Oh,
I bet those
they're
nuts.
nasty.
Yeah, I bet they're crazy.
I'm not playing goalie though.
And they probably weren't able to go pro in the sport that they were actually best at, so they just picked handball, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe.
right.
All right. So
like shooting. Sorry.
here, shooting is another one. Have you seen
The guy.
so it's like the Asian
Yeah.
team. It's like the China team. They're wearing like these super high-tech glasses. And this
Yeah.
guy, like he's literally looks like he's just standing there in like a pair of jeans
He's
hand in
got
the
his hand in
pocket.
his pocket. Just like all the memes are like, this guy has to be a hitman. Like,
Yeah.
I think he got silver too.
yeah, he
medaled.
did.
Yep. Exactly.
All
I feel
right.
like I can do that.
So this leads us into the highly contested topic, which I do think we have talked about this before, but we're really gonna dive into it.
I
So,
thought about it. Go ahead.
Earlier this week, David sent us a list, and it was the easiest sports to go pro in according to ChatGPT.
Yes, I did. I sent that to you.
So we have in the 1 to 10 here, 1 being the easiest, 10 being the hardest, golf, tennis, track and field, bowling, boxing / MMA, soccer, basketball, curling, badminton, ice hockey. So
Ridiculous.
before we truly dive into it, because the main topic we want to talk about is the number 1 sport on this list
But
that-
1 and 2.
that Chris and I have differing opinions on than Dave. But what is the 1 sport that's even on this list, regardless of order, that you look at it and you're like, how is this, out of all the sports in the world, it's considered the top 10 easiest to go pro in?
4 of them.
All right, what you got?
Golf, tennis, track and field, and boxing. They do not belong on that list at all. How can you tell me that it's easier to become an Olympic golfer than it is to become an Olympic volleyball
So
player?
this
Hand
isn't
raise, hand raise, hand
thi-
raise.
this
hand
isn't
raise.
just
It's not
Olympics. It's
about
just to go
Olympics.
pro in.
It's not about the Olympics, Chris. The Olympics is the 4 best American golfers in the world.
Exactly.
So this
It's
isn't
about going
pertaining to
professional.
Olympics. It's
All
just
right,
being
fine,
a
fine, fine.
professional.
This is about
But
making the
still-
Corn Ferry Tour, not about making the Olympics.
It's much easier to go on like a pro. Like all of these things have the same structure as golf. You can go like join like a pro beach volleyball league. Like you can.
Where's there a professional beach volleyball league? How many
They
professional?
exist for sure.
I know they exist, but how many openings do they have, and how many teams do they have?
More than
and
the
how
Corn Ferry.
doubtful. And it's not just the Corn Ferry. You have the DP World Tour. You have professional tours in Asia, other tours in Asia. You have other tours in
They
Europe.
all have that. There's the Beach Pro Tour, the Association of Volleyball Players, the AVP Tour. I'm sure there's tours overseas, the Poland Women's Tour, World League, F1 VB. Like all sports have the same thing. Like there's semi-pro / pro, lesser like divisions and teams and leagues in every sport.
Yeah, but
a
there's
fact.
not. I agree that it's a fact, but there's not near the amount of open slots on those teams as compared to the amount of open slots on all of these professional tours that there are in golf, for example.
Especially if you look at sand volleyball, Chris, like it's pretty much just 2v2. Like at least in the Olympics, there's not team. It's always 2v2. So even if there's 100 leagues with 10 teams and 2 players per team, like that's
there's
still
200. There's 200 professional sand volleyball players in the world. Under that hypothetical. So you're telling?
I said 100 leagues, 10 teams, 2 per.
Okay. Even then,
But
so
even
there's
then, yes,
2,000.
it's still a lot lower number.
There's under that hypothetical, there's 2,000 professional sand volleyball players in the entire world. There's going to be exponentially more. I mean, the PGA Tour world rankings right now goes to, I mean, and that's just one professional tour. I can look at that right now. The world rankings go all the way to number, I'm pulling it up right now. just as my computer's taking a long time.
So for me, even though I know there are a lot of professional hockey leagues, hockey's still cracking the top 10 out of all the sports in the world is crazy to me
I'll agree with
because
that.
not everyone can skate. And then you even take like, which I guess, yes, if we're saying you're dedicating your life to just trying to become professional in this sport, but then there's a level of like the hand-eye coordination and skating. There's so much that goes into hockey that I think that being 10 on this list is crazy. And
Yeah,
I
it
think
shouldn't even be on there.
I think if you just had to take this list for what it is, like if you could rearrange these 10 sports, but only had to work with 10, I think basketball could be the easiest to go pro.
Okay, hold on, real quick. I'm going to take a step back for a second, and then I'll respond to that. 998 people are ranked in the world rankings for the PGA Tour right now. That's just one professional tour with 998 people ranked on it. Like,
Okay, and so there's what, maybe 4 more tours. DT World Tour,
Corn Ferry,
Corn Ferry,
Live. There's Japan. There's other Asian countries.
So let's multiply that by 10. That's 9,000.
There's 9,000.
Adam's math for volleyball was more than that.
2,000. He said 2,000. It's
yeah,
1/4.
but then okay, so that's just the numbers of available spots. Then you have to factor in the skill of the sport.
Well, but we're not. The question too, and this is something I said in our group text the other day. The question too is not success once you get there.
It's just being able
to
get there.
Able to get there, right? And then there's also the question of what counts as being a professional too, because
that's the biggest question.
Hypothetically in golf, and maybe this is what ChatGPT considers in this, is the club pro at your local golf course is considered a club
PGA
pro.
Golf professional, yeah.
Yeah. And so they're a club pro.
The coach at Dick's Sporting Goods is considered a PGA Golf professional.
Exactly.
There's 30,000 golf professionals in the world right now. PGA registered golf professionals.
Exactly. So like if that's what ChatGPT considers, then
it's a lie.
It's not a lie because they are professionals.
But I hear you. Technically, yes, they are professionals, but like,
and that's the question.
If a guy came up to, but
that's
like, I understand that's the question, but if a guy you met at a party came up to you and said, "Oh, I'm a professional golfer," and you say, "What tour are you on?" He said he works at Dick's Sporting Goods. Are you taking that guy seriously?
I would be like, get out of my house.
Look at that.
Yeah, I'd be like, get out of my house.
Yes, I understand under technicality, but
that's what we're doing here. It's technicalities.
I'm going to say that, but at the same time, in your argument in our text, as you said, we have friends that if they dedicated their life to it, could make the Corn Ferry Tour. So you are putting it at a level.
I didn't say that they could make the
Corn
Ferry.
You want me to catch the receipts?
Yeah, read it. I didn't say they could make the Corn Ferry. I said they could go professional. I believe.
But
no,
if we want to get technical, you just have to make money doing it to become a professional. And I make money all the time on the golf course.
There you go. But like, I think that, and I stand by that comment in my message.
You're right. I went back to the receipts and you did say, I'm not saying high level PGA Tour. I'm saying professional tour in this world. I think he could do it. So still making a tour. So that is above Dick's Sporting Goods.
And go ahead and read the full text message. I'm not saying they could do it right now. I don't believe any of our friends could go.
No, you said it would take 2 years.
I think 2 years that we have a handful of friends that if they quit their jobs, and I'm not saying too, like fooling around. I'm saying a full professional, like training regimen, 8-9 hours per day. Do it. 8-9 hours. And I think
I was going to say you funding it?
Yeah.
Nope. But
do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Quit your job.
Just do it. Do it to
see.
Do it to prove me right, please.
I almost think that's an argument that should factor into it in the sense of like
it takes 2 years.
And the money you have to put behind it. Like that's not something that it doesn't make it easy because you can't like the normal person can't accomplish it with the amount of money it would take. Whereas the only reason, like I said earlier, I think basketball could be the easiest is because in theory, basketball is such a more like what more can a trainer, like you could probably get like a high level trainer for like maybe we'll call it like 5 to 6 months. That's going like what he's teaching you a year from now isn't going to be much different than 5 years from like 5 months. So it's just more basic skills that you're able to then master the craft of. And like you see guys like, again, because we're talking just professional, like there's probably leagues in like South America where if you're a white guy that can hit a wide open three, you can get a spot on a bench.
Maybe.
And if you think
maybe you're right about that.
so,
I was going to say early on.
Play in Lithuania.
Early on, I don't think you could. I think
know,
you're sleeping. I think you're sleeping on
Winston.
Lithuania.
Was it Winston? Yeah.
It was Winston. He was the 8th best player off the bench on the 7th best team in Latvia.
And they had that tub.
I think that my only counter argument to that is that, and I'll stay consistent, and I'll use Chris as an example. If Chris quit his job today and did the same training regimen for 2 years on the basketball side of things, there is not a professional league in this world that I think that he could go professional in basketball in 2 years.
I agree with that. I don't think I could in golf either.
I think
that's
you could
the thing.
in golf.
Like I don't think any of us really could in any of them because there would have been a point in our lives. Well,
I'm confident in golf, but not
so
in
like my question to you is then, so you look at kids that play college golf, like not all college golfers go pro, and like in theory they have at the time they're in school have some of the best resources and training to do that, but they don't. So why do you think that?
Same with basketball.
Exactly. So I don't believe pretty much a normal person could quit their day job, dedicate their time to a sport and do it, because then more people would.
I think I could get pretty far at badminton. Like I truthfully believe.
See, that one seems crazy to me because I don't know what I could learn. And if you watch Olympic badminton, like I'm not returning a single one. Like anything that anyone hits at me, I'm not even getting racket on it.
I think that
I'm getting those back.
I think because I'm gonna be consistent again. What professional badminton leagues are there in the world?
Exactly. That's the point.
So like, what are there like? How many professional badminton players are there? So there's such a limited amount of possibility for you to go professional in that I don't necessarily disagree with it being on the list only because of that. There's not going to be.
I feel like that detracts from the argument though. Like, what are we really trying to prove? Like,
because at the same time, like I'm not going to dedicate 2 years of my life to potentially win $3,000 a year trying to go pro at golf.
No, I know. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm just.
You would lose money trying to make it out of the Corn Ferry. I don't think I could even get to scratch in under a year. Maybe I could.
To me, it's the same thing, which, Chris, maybe you could because you are significantly better than I am at golf currently. But like, I don't think I could in 2 years. I think that there is a limit to what everyone can do, and I've been the same golfer for like 3 years now.
You'd be a ground
and
up
I've started playing more than I ever have. Like
you'd be a full rebuild for a coach for sure.
Oh, for sure. But like, I think there's still, even if I get a swing coach that is the best in the world working on me, like I still think there's a limit to what I can accomplish in anything.
But see, that's why though, like.
So to go
in
pro,
my text
like,
though, like
you don't get just straight onto a professional tour. You also have to build up to that. And I think there is such a mental component that also goes into the game of golf. And then you have to play 2 great rounds back to back to qualify. And then you have to play 4 rounds total. And then you have to do it again the next week. I just think that their skill is only a part of it.
For sure.
I totally agree.
Mental fortitude is the biggest part of all of it.
So it's not like Chris.
Any sport.
So but then that's what I'm saying. Like Chris could go out and in theory shoot as well as a professional player on the driving range with his swing coach and in these rounds where there's no pressure on him. But then he's going to have to work his way up. You don't just go pro immediately. And then who knows if he actually has the ability to do it consistently week in, week out at the semi-pro level to then get to pro.
There's like 10 people that go to Corn Ferry tournaments.
That's not true.
But you're still playing for
There's a lot of
something.
people that go to college tournaments. There's a lot of people that go to conference.
I
I think for this to be a fair, for this to be an argument worth having, it has to be easiest sport to go pro in, pro being the top league of that sport.
Okay. Well, then it's going to be impossible.
How does that change your answers?
I think it's going to be really difficult for any of the major sports, basketball, football, baseball, hockey, golf, soccer.
But re-rank these with that in mind.
I'd almost argue, looking at this list, that boxing could be up there because I feel like Jake Paul is kind of proving that.
Exactly. That guy went from being a YouTuber to now being a professional boxer at the highest level
Didn't he wrestle in college though?
No, I think he started being like a YouTube sensation in high school.
Yeah. He didn't even go to college.
Yeah,
did he?
That's right.
So
and I feel like bowling has to be up there.
Curling has to be up there.
Curling also has to be up
there. Badminton, curling, and it should go
curling's the
badminton.
Easiest. I'll put curling number 1 on the list, even our old.
The only reason I'm going to push back on you with badminton is because we've just changed the argument to it has to be at the highest level, and for badminton, that's basically the Olympics.
Yeah. And those people.
So you have to be one of the 10 best badminton players in the world.
And those people, if you watch the pros on the Olympics, they are.
See, but that's another thing. Let's say you were somehow able to get your Yugoslavian citizenship. You could probably go pro and maybe something for a country like Yugoslavia.
I don't think Yugoslavia is actually a country, but yes.
Is it not?
I think they're debunked. I think they went away.
There's no more Slavia?
Oh, there is. I think it's
Yugoslavia now.
I think it's Czechia is now
the Czech Republic.
Not anymore.
It was from 1918 to 1992. They've been out of the game for a while.
Is that where Czechia is now? Does it say that? Half Czechia and half Slovakia?
It looks like, looking at this map, it's more in the Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Montenegro, Serbia, Macedonia space.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know where that
is. This is just a ridiculous list. It makes me want
It was massive. Yugoslavia was huge. Yugoslavia was the combination of all of those countries I just named.
Oh, geez. Wow. I didn't know that.
Track and field being the third.
That is crazy
thing on here.
Yeah, that's crazy. I agree with that. We can all agree on that.
Because that's definitely one that you can argue that, sure, there's people that can teach you form and stuff, but
physical limitations.
That's
right away.
Rod wasn't even winning, getting first place all the time in his respective conference, and that dude was running a 4:12 mile.
Yeah. I agree with that.
The number of people in this world that can do that and aren't professional tells you exactly that isn't the easiest.
I think ChatGPT overthought this question because what it was probably thinking was oh, well, track and field includes shot put. It includes high jump. It includes all these, the javelin throw.
That's the field part of track and field.
Right. So, in that sense, if you worked really hard, you could probably get pretty good at throwing a javelin pretty far.
I mean, over the course of 30 minutes in Dave's backyard with that pole, we got better at javelin.
Was a sick game. We should play that.
That was a great game. Yeah, except my neighbors were probably almost. I don't think they ever.
I got
Did they
so
look
good.
Out the window?
It made a really loud noise, and I ran inside, so I couldn't tell you.
We kind of ran in like we were middle schoolers.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
But over the course of just being in your backyard, I was 15 feet from the fence to over the fence.
That tube is still in between my fence and their fence.
Can we motion to add that as a new game for next year's Olympics?
Tube throwing?
Yeah, it's tube javelin.
Make it like a Louisville chugger where it's like you have to
spin and
shotgun a
throw.
beer and then do it.
That's
And
gonna
put
go
a
through
lawn
my-
dart on the front of it.
And that's-
Yeah, so we can see where it sticks.
Oh God, go through my neighbor's windows.
We'll do it at
We'll do it at someone else's house.
We'll
Kent
do it at
and Jor-
Crestview.
Huh?
Honestly.
Do it at Crestview on
Yeah.
the field.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you kids doing here? Don't worry
Beer
about
Olympics.
it.
We graduated from here. It's fine.
Oh,
So,
guy.
real quick. So, soccer. I think soccer's hard to go pro in.
If we're saying at the highest level, I'll say yes, because Bogey played professional soccer in Bulgaria and he played high school soccer. And then I believe he played at like Maryville, maybe.
Oh, okay. So he proves that if we're my argument from earlier, then
Yeah.
it would be easy.
It depends how bad you want to go pro in something. Like if you're willing to make no money, but you just can't give it up.
Yeah. Then you could do it.
So taking that into account, Dave, I will say I don't think your golf take is as egregious as I once believed. But I
It
think
is.
when Chris and I were in the opinion that we went
It
straight
is.
to at the highest level, that's why it was as egregious to me as I thought it was.
And if we go to the
But I'm
highest
willing
level,
to admit
I'll
that.
come-
I'm willing
I'll
to
come
admit
off-
that.
And I'm willing to come off of my stance if we're saying at the
Purely
highest
at the
level.
highest level.
Yes. Look, we just all talked this out together, kumbaya together, and
So you
Look.
think
yep, I do.
if I
think.
took 2 years,
Yes.
dedicated my life to it,
Yep.
you think I could be consistently making money on the Corn Ferry Tour?
I didn't say consistently making money. I said you could make
You
the
think I
Corn
could
Ferry.
just make it?
Yep. I never said consistently making money.
I know. I'm just testing.
So-
But if you're there, then who could stop you at that point?
How
God, you're right.
How-
God. All right. Fuck. Hold
So-
on. Call my boss.
how much money do you think that would cost you? 2 years of dedication with the highest possible level coach and
$300,000.
training facilities.
Yeah, because the only way you're
Over
making
2
it-
years, you think
I have to.
I feel like
mean, right away-
300,000 is low.
No, I don't think it's that low because you could join. I would probably have to move to Scottsdale. I'd have to join a club.
Yep.
I'd have to get a pro.
You'd have to be
That-
working out at like Scotty
Every day.
Scheffler's gym.
I need a personal trainer for sure.
So who do
I
you
need
think
a team of physios to fix my back.
you're hiring?
What do you mean?
What
Like-
golf coach do you want in this hypothetical situation?
That guy with the spiky hair that's in full swing. That what's that guy's name?
Ian Poulter.
No, not Ian Poulter. The golf
Guess so, good
coach.
guess so.
Good guess. Good answer. Good answer.
May I interest you in Butch Harmon?
I think that's who I was thinking. No, it's not who I was thinking.
Or possibly Hank Haney?
Butch Harmon would be good. Butch
So,
Harmon would
Remember, this is a low budget operation.
be. Well,
need
I don't
someone
know.
cheap. I need
Under
an
a low
unproven coach.
under a low budget operation, I'm not sure if I'm willing to make the
Yeah,
bet.
it Dave's hypothetical, it was we're getting top of the line.
Well, I just said
You said the best, did you
I did.
not?
I did. I said professional. It's the same as the professionals.
So,
So-
we're gonna give you Butch Harmon. How many hours a day are you dedicating, Chris? Hours a
Given
day.
that I have, does like working out count?
I'm saying specifically just time with Butch Harmon. How
I don't
many?
know if I could even get him every day. And
This
I
is a
don't know if that
hypothetical
would be-
situation. Just saying money is no object, just to see how much it costs to get you Butch Harmon.
Well, I don't think I would need a coach every single day, right? Because if you need your coach every single day, he's not a good coach. He needs to be able to give you homework to go
Yeah.
work on your own. You
Okay,
can't
well then
rely
give
on
me-
him being there.
Give me
I'm in
how
on
many?
Sean Foley. I want Sean Foley to be your coach.
Okay,
Oh,
Sean,
I love him.
you're
Love him
getting
already.
Sean Foley. Then give me how many hours a week is Sean giving you?
Look at this guy. He means business.
Uh,
This guy means business.
6 hours
A week?
every 3 days.
6
A
hours
week?
every 3 days.
Yeah. How many?
Crazy. No, I mean I need like a solid 6 hour session to work on stuff.
Okay,
and then
so you're
have
saying
homework to
6.
work
So you're saying 18 hours a week? If it's
on.
6
Just with a
hours
coach,
every
yeah.
3 days?
Just with a coach, yeah.
Okay. We'll times that by 52. Then we'll times that by 2. So just Mr. Sean Foley alone at his rate of $1,000 per hour, you're looking at spending $18,000 a week, $936,000 for 1 year, putting you at $1.872 million for 2 years of dedication with Sean Foley.
There's got to be some kind of bulk buy discount though.
Yeah, I mean he's Tiger's former coach. I mean he's coached. Sean Foley is on full swing.
So this says 9 most famous golf coaches. You can get Peter Costas for $500 an hour. So that's that's just under $1 million is what you're gonna have to dedicate to him over 2 years to go pro.
Okay. Then I need a caddy. I need a club membership. I need all new clubs. I need an unlimited supply of balls.
Well, you would get that with you could price. All right. So let's think about this though. So like you could probably swing some type of like endorsement deal.
I had a good agent. Probably.
Being a nobody?
Yeah. I mean,
I had a good agent.
Dude, like social media influencers and all those types of people get these types of things where they'll send
See, but you made the argument to me earlier that social media influencers aren't dedicating their time to going pro. So if you don't have a presence on social media, then how are you going to swindle a sponsorship when those guys alone are bringing in millions of dollars?
You're acting like they're mutually exclusive. So what if he plays his cards right, he could have a camera crew. He could have a camera crew following him around.
Road to the
Chris's
Corn Ferry.
Road to the Corn Ferry.
Okay.
Yep. Document the process. Here's practice.
Yep.
Day in the life
So you could
videos.
probably get some free noodles for sure.
I gotta pay.
Noodle.
I gotta pay 2 camera people.
Yep.
$50,000.
Then you're having to pay them as well. So it's getting up
Get you
there.
an unpaid intern. Get you an unpaid intern from
Then
what's
I gotta
local.
pay Dave his agent fee, 3% or something like that.
So
Yep.
let's basically
this is my idea, so I'm taking a cut.
For you to go pro,
I'll give you 3%. 3%.
You have to have unlimited time to dedicate and $5 million.
Whoa. Who do you think you know any investors?
Stand a chance.
And it's the easiest.
Who do you think you know that could invest $5 million in your dream on Chris's Road to the Corn Ferry?
For you to potentially make maybe $60,000.
With that kind of attitude. There will be endorsements that come though. Because of Chris's Road to the Corn Ferry.
Chris, I don't know if your back can take it.
I don't. That's my concern.
For sure.
But,
I would have to solve. I'd probably just have to get surgery, and then I'd be fine.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a spinal fusion.
Okay,
don't worry.
How much we think
I have
that's
hookups.
Gonna cost?
I have hookups on spinal fusion surgeries. I just went to the Cardinals game with some on Friday. So
you think you have a good enough friend that's handing out free spinal fusions?
I didn't say free, but I'm saying. I didn't say free, but
hey, let's people have a little spiny fuse.
Yeah, we'll get those spinal fused.
Do you think we can get 50% off a fusion? Think you can swing that?
If I buy him like 12 transfusions on the course, there's a chance I could talk him into giving me a fusion for free. I'd be like, "Hey, you got the next fusion," and he's like, "Oh yeah," but it's 18th hole, and I was like, "Tricia, spinal fusion."
Hey, hold on a second too. Hold on a second too. So then, who's the golf coach that we're going with?
Foley.
Sean Foley. Who does Sean Foley work with? I'll tell you. I got the list right here.
BlackRock.
Sean.
It all comes back together.
Sean Foley works with Tiger Woods, Lydia Ko, Sean O'Hare, Hunter Mahan, Stephen Ames, Ian Bong-Yon, Cameron Champ, Michael Kim, Eric Van Ruin, Sam Horsfield, Justin Rose, Lee Westwood, PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, Live Golf, and PGA Tour Canada, Chris Barrow, and then the list of all these other people. So the spinal fusion surgery gives you a discount because you are a client of Sean Foley's, and he will refer the spinal fusion surgery to all of I almost said Chris Foley. Who's Chris Foley?
I'm sure it's a
Sean Fol-
guy.
Chris
Sean Foley's golf people when they need spinal fusion surgeries, and you'll give them a slot on Chris's Road to the Corn Ferry advertising slot, so you could get the spinal fusion surgery for free because he's going to get marketing.
Dave, that's me calling down the rabbit hole because you're deep down there right now.
Dude, I got
What
it.
are you talking about?
Dude, I got it. You're getting a free spinal fusion surgery.
I don't think
All
you are,
right,
Chris. I hate to break it to you.
You're going pro.
I think because of what we just laid out, it's not happening. I'm sorry, Chris. I hate to be that guy.
My concern with you, Chris, specifically is your back. But
I don't even think it's my back. I think it's my core. I think I just need to really like strengthen my core to like protect my back.
But under my hypothetical, you're going to be working with some high-end physical therapy people, some high-end doctors.
Oh yeah,
some high-end trainers.
They could solve that stuff. If Tiger is still playing golf, I could get fixed up.
Exactly. You're fine. You're back.
Honestly, just need to hit my deductible and then start paying surgeries.
I can't believe how
they pay
far
for
down,
themselves at that point.
I can't believe how far down the rabbit hole I just
that was
went.
crazy. Time check.
I looked up
deep. We are deep.
What next?
I looked up and Chris, you were looking at me like I had lost my mind.
I had no idea where you were going. You were just making hypothetical connections
He was saying
on top of hypothetical.
He was saying a lot of things.
That's all right. I got where I needed to go.
To put a pretty little bow on this episode of the Nightly Nonsense podcast, I'm going to skip one of the topics and we're going to go into Dave. You were correct. We didn't record last week, but if we were to have recorded, your prediction was correct that Joe Biden was no longer a presidential candidate by the time we would have recorded.
I know. Can you believe I was right about that?
I can.
Well, now it's easy to say that
I can.
But
There's a chance my prediction was correct too.
There was some I got a little worried midweek last week that your prediction
still is.
You think he's not alive?
I don't know, man. You look pretty tall. His earlobes don't match.
Dude, the pretty tall thing is wild. I've seen that all over TikTok.
Why you seen the earlobes thing?
The earlobes thing's been talked about for a year or two now. But the tall? Why is he so tall?
Yeah. Why is he so tall?
Dude.
He got that surgery where they stretch him out.
Dude. A little sketchy.
Does Kamala have a chance?
I want to say no, but I think, honestly, maybe.
Yeah. She might have a chance.
Somehow she might have a chance.
I think she might have a chance.
Okay.
I think Joe didn't have any chance whatsoever. Kamala, or as Donald says, Kamal. How does he say? He says something funny.
Kamala.
No.
Kamala.
Kamala. She sucks. Anyway, so
nice.
Yeah, that was good.
You're gay.
I think she has a chance.
Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. Does Chris have a better chance of becoming a Corn Ferry Tour player than she has at being the next president? Okay.
No.
All right. That's all I need to know.
She has a much higher chance of winning than Chris does of making the Corn Ferry. But
and with all that being said, if we're looking at
the
the show
got
notes,
a couple $1 billion behind her. So.
That's true. That's true.
She does.
If Chris had a Billy, this is a whole different ball.
Maybe all I need to do is just fly around and fundraise for my dream.
Exactly.
Have you tried door knocking yet?
And lie to people, yeah. Exactly.
I'm raising money for
childhood cancer.
Shut up. I was not going to go there. I'm just not going to do that.
Who's to say that once he goes famous, he doesn't give the money back, though?
Yeah,
he's not saying
I will.
that.
I'll make that pledge right now.
Yeah.
I'll start a foundation and pay back all the money
you got in
that is invested in me.
You just look at it as an advance.
Yeah. Down payment on some child's cancer procedures
Mm.
deep in the future.
That's bad.
And all it takes is for me to become a professional golfer.
Oh man.
That's all it takes. We're not asking for much.
Well, anyway.
I feel like we
Convoluted.
had I feel like we had so much spirited debate for really nothing to get answered.
Yeah, I don't think we answered anything.
And that's
Yeah.
the beauty of it. That's
That
why
is.
Nonsense.
that's why it's nonsense.
Exactly.
That is why
gosh.
it's nonsense, folks. Boys, it was great to be back on the line with you. I've missed
Back on
it.
the line.
Back on the line. I missed it.
Got it again.
Thank you for listening. Thanks for playing. As always, that's Nightly Nonsense.
See ya. I'm a bit of a butterfly.
Was it the same? Bye.